Good evening, race fans. Just a quick update. Race will be delayed about 5 to 10 minutes to start here this evening. We're having some technical difficulties with iRacing software that we're trying to work through, so thank you for your patience. We'll be with you again shortly. See everyone in here. Just another quick update. We're getting pretty close to being able to get this race underway. Still waiting on the software. It's given us an estimate of about 5 minutes at the most, so we'll be going green in just a moment. So just hang tight with us, and we'll be able to get you the live action here from Auto Club Speedway for round number 5. Or, sorry, round number 6 tonight. All right, folks, software glitches are figured out while the drivers get to the cars. We're going to go ahead and skip the qualifying for this evening, but I want to go over points standings with you at present. Of course, bearing in mind that we finally got a new winner last week at Iowa Speedway, that, of course, being Kyle Nadeau. He moves up 6 spots in the standings to be tied with Steven Turner for that spot. Moving on up to 9th, also up 1 place from 10th the previous week. Dalton Brewington in the 7 car for THR. Devin Gentry up a spot to 8th, as well as Zach Miller being promoted to 7th spot in the point standings. Craig Bell resides in the 6th position right now. Max Bauman for THR as well, up 1 spot from Craig Bell last week, swapping positions to the 5th place in the championship standings. So both of those drivers currently above the cut line for those the top six spots, but only 1 point above Zach Miller. So that last spot in the top 6 for the playoffs is going to be a tight race indeed. Up in the 4th spot, Dusty Martin in that 35 Chevrolet. Devin Maines currently in 3rd, down 1 spot from last week, so he drops from that runner-up position to 3rd after Alex Wiggins had 2 really good finishes back-to-back, and Bennett Allen still sits atop the point standings with a 63-point advantage over 2nd place. All right, drivers are getting to the cars. We will be live in just a moment, and our pace laps will begin any minute now. Tonight we are, of course, at Auto Club Speedway, 2-mile racetrack in Fontana, California. Former racetrack in Fontana, California has since been razed and is now a bit of an industrial park, but we show our appreciation for this track every time we come. One of the fastest tracks in NASCAR and one of the most endeared tracks to a lot of NASCAR fans, and definitely a favorite among our drivers here in the Thursday Night Nitro Series. This play host to round number 6 of 12 for the season, which leaves these drivers this race and 3 others to decide who makes that final 6 cutoff for the 3-race playoff season. On the pole tonight, Jake Doffing in the number 13 puts that bright highlighter yellow Ford Mustang right up front. Ryan Rose in 78 is going to roll off second in his Chevrolet. Bennett Allen, no surprise to see him up toward the front. He's going to start inside second row in the number 15 with Kyle Nadeau to his outside in 4th. Dusty Martin rolls off in the 5th position with Alex Wiggins to his outside in 6th. Steve Turner inside row 4 in that 7th spot. In the 26, Zach Miller in the 38 to his outside. Devin Gentry rolling off P9 in the number 12 machine, with Max Bauman starting P10. Doug Argabright P11. Dalton Buckingham P12. And Dan Jensen rounds out the field in 13th. That's a rundown of our starting positions. We'll, of course, keep you up to date on that as we go. Looks like we will have another pace lap after this. Lights are still on the pace car, so just another moment we will be going green flag racing. Again, thanks to everyone out there for bearing with us on the technical difficulties. But we're excited to get this thing underway in just a moment for you. Bit of a shakeup at the front from what we've seen the past few weeks. Of course, still some folks up there we'd expect to be there. Bennett Allen, of course, up front. Kyle Nadeau, but Jake Doffing and Ryan Rose taking the spotlight through qualifying this afternoon. See if we might see a little bit of a shakeup in our normal programming for the drivers who we see up front here. Bit of a stumble for the 15 last week. Saw a little bit of weakness shown. Will he recover this week to claim another victory, or will somebody else, another new face, show up in victory lane at the end of this one? We've got 90 laps at Auto Club Speedway to settle it. We're getting ready to go green at this fast, wide, and action-packed racetrack. Plenty of room for these drivers to race 2, 3, even 4 wide where necessary. Pace lights are off, or on the pace car. We will be going green this time by anticipation rising in the air as we get ready to fire off here for round number 6 of the Thursday night Nitro Series here at Auto Club Speedway. Off of turn 4 they come. Jake Doffing leads them down to the green. Green flag in the air. We are underway. It's already Bennett Allen down to the inside into turn 1. There'll be 3 abreast going down into the corner. Doffing on the outside. Wiggles slightly, washing up the racetrack. It's going to be Bennett Allen to the lead through turn 1. Still side by side behind them. You got Allen, Doffing, then Rose behind, battling with Dusty Martin for that 3rd spot. Single file out now, but here comes Ryan Rose to the inside of Jake Doffin, making that move early for that 2nd spot, getting the draft off the 15 in front of him, pulling him along a little bit, and here comes Dusty Martin through as well. High speeds, high action. Anything can happen here at Auto Club. First, all the way through last. We had 3 wide for a moment back there with Devin Gentry, Bauman, and Miller. That's back for the 10th position. Martin catching Rose for that 2nd spot. Right on the bumper as they come off of 4. 13 of Doffing gets a run to the inside as well. A lot of back and forth here for this 2nd through 4th spot, trading nearly every single lap. It's still Ryan Rose claiming that spot for now, but he's got Martin to his outside and Doffing to his inside as they enter turn 1. Bit of contact there. Jake Doffing washes up to that 2nd lane. That's going to cost the 78 a little bit of momentum, but he's going to come back using that speed on that outside line. Gets a bit of a side draft off the 13 now. They're side by side, nose to nose as they enter 3. Martin pushing the issue, trying to get that 13 loose. That might have been what got him loose into turn 1 last time by. Getting right up in the back of that race car in front of you. Can take air off that spoiler and make the back end of that car lose some downforce. Can be a handful if you're not prepared for it. It's starting to settle out toward the front. Jumping back here. Wiggins and Argabright going at it. Argabright already up 5 spots from the start, using that extreme high line all the way up against the catch fence. And look at the run it gives him down the back straight. Absolutely hauling the mail down the back straight as he goes after the 26 of Steven Turner. Like we mentioned before, at the pre-race, that there's definitely plenty of ways to pass here. 3, 4 wide. You can go bottom to top. It's all fast. There's definitely a lot of different approaches here at Auto Club Speedway. These drivers are going to take advantage of every single one of those different options to make passes happen throughout the night. Max Bauman already a big mover in this race as well on that number 89 Mustang on the outside, up 4 positions from the spot. Currently battles Alex Wiggins for 8th. Side by side in the 3, Wiggins all the way down to the white line. Max Bauman taking that midline, trying to go for a bit of momentum. He's got the 12 of Devin Gentry hot on his heels. Up front, no surprise at all. 2.5 second gap already for Bennett Allen out front. Battle is still hot and heavy for this 2nd spot. Trading places still are Jake Doffing, Martin, and Rose. 2nd through 4th. leapfrogging each other lap after lap. What that is allowing is that 26 to start entering the conversation. You see Steven Turner back there in that black and blue number 26. Starting to make his presence known there on that inside lane. Doffing to the outside. Martin with the nose to the inside. He's going to have the advantage into turn one. Ken Doffing hang on that outside lane, using that extra momentum from that high line. It's a 35 out front by Enos coming off the corner. Can't quite clear. It's Doffing back to the outside. Side by side, down the back straight. Advantage Doffing going into the corner. Martin surges back on the inside. Can he make it happen this time? See him slide up a little bit, take some of that clean air off the nose of the 13. Dusty Martin through to second place. The order currently Allen, Martin, Doffing, and Rose. Steven Turner still trying to make up ground back here with Doug Arterbright hanging to his outside. Big momentum for the 41 down the back straight, using that extra bit of momentum provided by the outside lane. We'll see how long the tires hold out on that 41 car. Longer way around the corner means you're spending more time in the corner and also more fuel as well, so that's a consideration he'll have to be aware of going through the night. Steve Turner still with momentum. It looks like the 41 starting to fade just a little bit. Max Bauman behind him is starting to adopt that high line as well. And his number 89, Ford Ranger Mustang. Road Ranger Mustang. It's a Ford Mustang with Road Ranger, not a Ford Ranger. That would be a different vehicle entirely. Like Devin Gentry behind him, starting to experiment with that high lane. Extreme high lane. You saw the 41 just graze the catch fence just a little bit. You saw a couple of sparks coming out of the right rear quarter panel of that 41, using every last millimeter of racetrack available to him. It does take a special talent to be able to run that close to that outside wall. There is a bit of an air cushion up there. You get close enough to that outside wall through the corners. These cars go in at an angle, so if you can picture a wedge of air being pushed in between the front of these cars and the wall, it actually kind of catches the race car as you get up toward the outside wall, but not pushing too hard through that cushion of air is key to making time. If you push through it a little too hard, you lean on it a little bit too much, you can break through that cushion of air and end up in the fence, which is obviously not desirable. Seeing a lot of lane experimentation here for the 89. He ran far outside. Now he's down to the bottom through 3 and 4. It's like some playing around with lap times, trying to see what works, what's going to be effective over the long run. We'll see plenty of long green flag racing here tonight, which will encourage these drivers to take care of their equipment, take care of those Goodyear tires. Side by side for third, it's Ryan Rose in the 78, Doffing in the 13 to his outside. Rose with an advantage here, might get the spot through 3 and 4, sends it in deep to the inside. 26 and Turner's going to follow him through. See, 78 put the slider on the 13 up to the outside. 13 loses the nose, gets a little piece at the outside wall. Doesn't look like any damage to his race car. Not even the paint. I don't know what kind of paint he's got on that 13. I don't even see any scrapes on it. All these drivers looking great in the sunset, but all of them trying to run down Bennett Allen in that first spot. That gap is closing, however, as Rose gets up to second place. This whole group is starting to run down the leader a little bit. We mentioned a short while ago it was 2.4 seconds to Allen. Now that gap shrinks to 1.8. Maybe some conservation out of the 15, maybe a little bit of tire life being scrubbed off the tires of the leader by pushing hard early in the running. Wreck 13 goes in the fence, down to the inside wall as well. That's going to be massive damage to go down the back straight. Somebody misjudged something terribly coming down the back straight. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Caution flag will fly for the first time tonight here on lap number 14. Terminal damage for the number 13. That's going to render him immobile, and he will have to tow to pit lane. What had been an excellent run so far for Doffing the 13 ends abruptly. Go back and take a look at that at our Déjà Revél replay cam in just a moment. Keep an eye out on the back straightaway. Got the 13 had to check up for the 35, and it looks like the 41 just wasn't expecting that sudden checkup. And just massive, massive damage to the front end of that 13. Definitely going to have taken the engine out and going to take him out of this race, or at least out for a good portion of the race. Go ahead and take a look back from a different angle. Let's go from the back of the 13. We'll go a little bit closer and try to see if we can figure out exactly what happened. You see the 41 on the outside get an absolute massive run, as he has been. Major momentum up there. You see 35 a little bit slow off the corner. 13 tries to give him a bump, but that slows him down in the process, and I don't think that Arcbright in the 41 was expecting the sudden slowdown from the 13 when he gave the push to Dusty Martin, and you see the result there. Just unable to see that there was a car directly in front of the 13, and didn't know that he was that much slower, so he's probably thinking he might give the 13 a push down the back straight, and ended up having the 13 in his lap before he could do anything about it. First round of pit stops just getting completed. Car cycling back out onto the racetrack under caution. Working back around to that iRacing pace car. Already some trouble. Looks like the rear of the field's going to come back in and take some extra fuel, top off on fuel before we go back green flag racing. Pretty good strategic thinking by them to be able to stretch that as long as they possibly can. Expecting long green flag runs this evening, as we've already seen. Quick run down the order. First place, still Bennett Allen, the 15. He's going to elect to choose the outside for this restart with Ryan Rose, who is inside. Argerbright's going to start in fourth, with Dusty Martin third on the inside of the second row. Max Bauman starting in that fifth position with Dalton Buckingham in the 39 to his outside. But Buckingham up 7 spots so far today, with Wiggins restarting 7th behind him, with Gentry in the 8th. Zach Miller and Kyle Nadeau round out the top 10. Pace car is going to pull down onto pit lane as drivers come off turn 4. We'll get ready to throw that green flag one more time. It's going to be Bennett Allen leading him on the outside. Great start for him. A little bit of a shaky restart on the inside for the 78. Allen pulling down, trying to cut away that draft. That could potentially benefit his competitors behind him. Field spreads out into turn 1. Extreme low side and extreme high side as they disperse through the field. Down the straight, it's Martin out front by 10 car lengths. Rose in second. Argerbright and Martin going at it for that third spot. Side by side, Argerbright switching it up down to the low lane right now. Dusty Martin on the outside trying to hang tight in that 35 machine. Neck and neck as they cross the stripe to begin lap number 19. Still side by side into turn 1. It's Argerbright to the bottom, Martin to the high side again. Max Bauman looking for an opportunity to take advantage behind. Single file from 5th place on back. Bauman still trying to find a hole. Not sure which one of these drivers is going to take that position. It looks like it might be Martin as they exit 4. Bauman gets blocked on the high side. Argerbright throwing that block, trying to keep him up there. Bauman's going to follow, now going to take that low line into turn 1. We've seen that 41 have success up on the high side. Wasn't doing too hot just a moment ago on the low side. We'll see him get a great run off of turn 2, getting back to his comfortable line up there on the fence. Puts 5 car lengths on Bauman as they come down the back straight. Ryan Rose has got a mirror full of the 35 of Dusty Martin as they come down toward the start-finish line. Martin with that draft is going to use that to his advantage to try to catch up to second place as the lights come alive here at Auto Club Speedway. Beginning to fade tonight as the sun has set here in Fontana, California. The track will continue to gain grip and get faster throughout the evening, so this racing will only get better from here. Side by side, it's Martin to the inside. Can he make the clear? He does clear Ryan Rose in the 78. Dusty Martin to P2 off of 4. Wiggins back in 8th spot, trying to make up ground on Turner. Turner to the outside. We've seen him kind of bottom feeding the track all day. It's different seeing that 26 up high now. Wiggins trying to find a way down on that bottom lane. It's Turner up high. Wiggins on the bottom. Looks like momentum on the inside lane through turns 1 and 2 has started to go away as these Goodyear tires get a few laps on them. Kyle Nadeau in a bit of unfamiliar territory here. Running back in the 9th place right now. We've seen Nadeau have good success at this racetrack in past seasons. Possibly playing the long game here, conserving fuel and tires. That is definitely not out of the question for driver number 97. He'll for sure be talking to his teammates, one of which is directly behind with Zach Miller in the 38, currently running 10th. Saw a similar strategy out of both drivers last week, expecting more of the same this week. As we saw all 3 of these drivers, the 11, the 97, and the 38, all come to pit lane to top off on fuel during that last caution. Max Baumann having some issues here, falling back in the clutches of Steve Turner as Devin Gentry has gone by for that 5th position. 89 was looking pretty sporty on the short run, now starting to fade just a little bit on the long run. These cars rather are going to start behaving a little bit differently, feeling a little different to these drivers, so they're going to have to adapt as we transition from late afternoon to the evening. As the sun has set, the whole track is now in shadow, and we'll start losing some of that temperature. And these cars and tires on the cars will start preferring different things. What line might have been fast during the daylight might slow down or might shift to a different location on the racetrack as we fade into night. Side by side, turned down to the inside of Baumann. See if he can make it stick now through 3 and 4. He had a bit of a look to the inside a couple laps ago. Wasn't able to make that stick. It looks like he might be able to clear coming off of 4. No, Baumann still hanging on that right rear quarter panel, pulling him backwards just a little bit with the side draft off the corner. Turner all the way to the bottom, Max Baumann all the way to the top. Still just barely hanging on as they enter turn 1. Let's see if Baumann has the momentum to clear off of 4 as we see Nadeau all the way up against the boards behind them. Side by side, Baumann have the momentum advantage as they come off of 2. Is going to have the advantage into 3 as well. Turner still hanging on the inside. Neither one of these drivers willing to give an inch. Turner, great center corner speed through 3 and 4. Still not quite able to clear, but back alongside Baumann once again. Dead even to the stripe. Baumann will just be inches ahead as they come across the start-finish line for lap number 27. Once again to the outside through 1 and 2. 89 of Baumann with the advantage again. Can he clear before 3 and 4? The driver's playing it pretty safe. Turner not really going to go at him too hard with any side drafting just yet. Baumann able to clear entering 3. Turner settles in behind, starts to adopt that high lane just a little bit as well. Not letting them go by any means, though. Half a car length separates the two as they enter 1. Half a lane higher, shading just a little bit higher for the 26. Will that give him momentum off the corner? I don't think so. I think 26 might have slid the front tires entering turn 1 just a little bit. That's going to cost him some momentum as we start to see the track lighting glistening off the paint schemes on these NASCAR Xfinity race cars. Jumping ahead of them, Devin Gentry having a pretty quiet night. We're not really having to race anybody too hard, but has still worked his way up 5 spots from the start. Currently running top 5 in that 5th position. A quiet day of just picking them off one at a time for driver number 12 so far. He's got Ryan Rose in front of him trying to run him down. Rose to the inside trying to make things happen. He's been good on the inside pretty much all night. We haven't seen 78 up high very much yet. Seems to like that bottom and is making it work. And hasn't seemed to fall off the pace quite as much as other drivers have running that bottom lane. Taking pretty good care of those Goodyear Eagle Racing tires. Seen others have some issues as the 26 was taking a look on the exit of 4 there. Wasn't quite able to get alongside behind them. Just ahead of Rose is Argerbright in the 41. Still, of course, running that extreme outside lane. Take a look at that gap to that wall. Very, very slim as he enters turn 1. And again, very slim exiting turn 4. He's going to use that draft and that extra momentum down the back straight. Trying to reel in Dusty Martin for that spot. Gap staying about the same for the past 5 laps at 0.3 seconds between them. About 8 to 10 car lengths. Bennett Allen keeping a fairly comfortable gap with 1.3 seconds out front. Hasn't really changed much there either. Dusty Martin runs second in that number 35 Chevrolet Camaro. Taking a look behind at this battle between Rose and Argabright. Half a car length back to Rose. Rose is going to give up that spot to Argabright. Argabright up to third now, up 8 positions from the start of this race, using that high line to great effect so far this evening. It looks like its pace is holding on a little bit better up there now that we've settled into the evening than it had been earlier on in the race. That first green flag run, we saw the 41 seem to fall off the pace pretty rapidly after about 15 laps. But seems to be a little bit better now that the track has cooled down. These two still going at it. Rose gets to the inside, side drafts the rear quarter panel just a little bit, trying to pull the 41 back to him. Again, right on that rear quarter panel, the 41 trying to dump some dirty air on the spoiler of that race car and slow him down the straightaways. We see the 15, Allen getting the fence a little bit, misjudges the entry into turn 1, still out front, but the pack is gaining quickly from 1.3 just 2 laps ago to half a second separating first and second. Dusty Martin and company running Bennett Allen down for that lead. We've seen great short run speed out of the 15 all night so far. It's starting to fade just a little bit. About the same story, 15 laps in, that 15 starting to come back to the pack just a little bit. So what everyone's probably hoping for right now is a consistent trend of long green flag runs. I think that's going to be the key to success for a lot of these guys. Long run seems to be favoring drivers running that bottom lane so far. We've seen a good speed out of the top lane on fresh tires, but very similar to what we saw the first run, maybe not to the same extent. That high lane seems to be giving up just a little bit of pace. Allen stretches that gap back out another 1/10 of a second here, lap number 35. That gap stands at 7/10 of a second now over second place, which that battle in itself is starting to close up a little bit. We saw Rose get by the 41 of Argabright just a few short laps ago. Now you see that gap up to about 20 car lengths. Rose rapidly running down the 35 for second. Seems the 78 has suddenly found some pace here through this long green flag run and is starting to run down the pack ahead of him. Jumping behind them again, Turner still working for positions, starting to slip through the field a little bit. He's working on the 12 of Gentry for that 5th spot right now. Argabright starting to fall back in the pack once again. You see Gentry down to the inside, doesn't quite get alongside next to the 41 off of turn 2, but definitely got a great run off the corner, hanging with the 41 who's running that high side. But he's also got a mirror full that 26. Gonna have to play a little bit of offense and defense at the same time here. 41 with a massive run to the outside, looking here from the roof of the 26 car. Gentry fades up high through 1 and 2. Says, hey, that looked pretty slick there. That big run you got off of turn 4. I'm going to try that high lane as well and see if I can hang down the front straightaway. Another battle happening just ahead. Martin has a whole lot of company here with Ryan Rose right behind him, hounding the back end of that 35 car. Almost gets a nose alongside off of for advantage Martin right now. 78 sends it all the way down to the apron, trying to get alongside, get a position on that inside, and it looks like he will get a nose inside before turn 1. Rose to the inside, Martin to the outside in the 35. Good run here for the 78 coming off the corner. Can he clear? And he does. Ryan Rose up to 2nd spot, Martin back to 3rd, but it is a dogfight back here for 4th through 7th. Argabright Curley has it. It's Gentry followed very closely by the 26 and the 89. Gentry gets back alongside the 41 using that kind of mid to high lane. Should get a fair bit of momentum. They're going to be 3 wide coming out of turn 4. Turner down to the bottom. Looks like Gentry's going to back off a little bit. He's going to get a push down the front straightaway from fellow Ford driver Max Baumann. Says, hey, we need to hurry up and settle this battle before we get caught by everyone behind us. See, this battle has let the Great Lakes Racing crew behind them catch up. That pack was about 30 car lengths behind just a couple laps ago. Now they have caught this group who have been racing side by side for several laps now. 41 of Argabright still hanging on the outside. It's going to be Turner getting clear of Gentry for that 5th spot. Gentry fades back 1. He's under fire from Max Baumann in the 89 now. I think maybe the cars behind might have a little more speed than the 41, but being that he's on that preferred outside lane, I think they're having problems passing on the bottom because these tires, after this many laps in the run, just don't want to make the bottom work. So getting around somebody who's just occupying that outside lane can be a bit of a task here at Auto Club. Moving all over the place. Now you look see Alex Wiggins at the inside. He's going to make it 3 wide off of turn 4. Side drafting the 89 of Baumann. Baumann with a little bit more speed is going to clear before turn 1. Single file, but all cars separated by less than a quarter second here for 5th through 10th. This is an incredible battle in the second half of the field as the leaders have pretty much checked out. You look through 1st through 3rd, Dusty Martin is 2.5 seconds ahead of this battle in 3rd, with Ryan Rose about a second ahead of him, and Bennett Allen about another second again ahead of the 78. But back here, this is where the action is happening. Arkwright's starting to stretch out that lead on Turner just a little bit. Turner's going to have Gentry to his outside in just a second. Says, no, that's not going to happen. He's going to block to the outside, put some dirty air on the nose of that 12 car. 3 wide as they exit turn 2. Great run through the corner there for Wiggins. He's able to clear Baumann and maybe Turner as well. Now he's still stuck next to Gentry. Has to fade a little bit. 12 got a really good run off of turn 2 that time. Had some momentum, so the 11 had to temporarily return that spot. Side by side, Turner and Arkwright. Turner to the inside, Arkwright the 41 to the outside, sticking with that high lane. Running the boards on the outside of the racetrack. Even higher yet is Gentry in the 12. Nobody can seem to make the pass on Arkwright. Arkwright just slinging it around the outside, and the 41 has backed up this entire group of cars who just cannot make the pass happen on the inside. You wonder how much patience will they have? How long will they tolerate this? We've even seen some cars working together. We've seen Baumann pushing a couple people, trying to get somebody past the 41, trying to make some kind of opportunity to follow somebody through, anybody. Somebody wants to punch a hole through this blockade, but have not been able to do so just yet. Side by side still. Arkwright going clear for that 4th spot now. The other thing to take into consideration is as you take more dives to the inside, trying to make it stick and trying to clear the drive around the outside, you are wearing that right front tire considerably. That's going to hurt your corner entry speeds as you do it more and more. While we saw the 26 was hanging to the inside pretty well, we're starting to see that fade just a little bit. I think Wiggins is going to try to slide this thing up the middle and try to force the issue a little bit. I don't think the 26 has this pace, but as I say that, it momentarily gets alongside the 41 on the exit at 2. Baumann back behind the 11, trying to push him up into this battle now, trying to make something happen. All these cars are just in an absolute stalemate right now, trying to navigate around the 41. right on board with Wiggins as he tries to find a way through this blockade of race cars. 41 to the outside, gets clear yet again. He's trying to tuck in and use some of that draft, use some of that speed off the 41 to his advantage. Has not been able to make it happen through the middle either. Good run through the center of the corner. That 41 just gets such a charge off of the corners. 11 might make it happen this time. 26 clears Argabright. Finally, somebody gets by the 41. The 11's now to the inside of Turner, as well as they head down towards turn 1. He's going to send it deep to the inside. They're in a dead heat side by side as they come off of 2. The 26 and 41 with the advantage on the high line. They're going to have the pace coming down the back straight of the way. 41 of Argabright giving the 11 a little bit of help there. Pretty good shove down into turn 3, seeing if he can help him get past. Doesn't look like it's quite going to happen. That 26 still hanging on that right rear quarter panel. Side by side, dead even as they come down toward the stripe for lap number 49. We are already over the halfway mark of this race. Green flag racing makes these things go by quick. These drivers know it. There's only a limited amount of time left to make something happen. I think some of these drivers are starting to feel the urgency. Turner still out front. Alex Wiggins still to the inside, getting help from the 41 again. As they go down into the 3, 41's going to try to make that middle line work. 11 has to check up big time as they come through 3 and 4, and that's going to check up the 41 and the 89 as well. Turner tries to break the draft, heads down toward that apron. Big loss of momentum there with Wiggins on the bottom. That's going to cost that whole group and allow the 26 to get a little bit of breathing room for the time being. Question I have, how long till this 97 starts making a move? I feel like he's just been riding to this point. Now we see him go back to 12 of Gentry, sees the opportunity, gets a good run off of turn 2, down the back straight. Hasn't really been sending it super hard on anybody. Hasn't been trying to push the issues, just been taking opportunistic passes as they present themselves. The 41 of Argabright really slow off of turn 4 that time. Still spread out, bottom all the way to the top. The 12 is starting to fade a little bit on speed. I think that high lane was starting to punch the tires a little bit as we see the 14 and the 12, or sorry, the 41 and the 12. Both drivers who've been up there pretty much all day starting to drop back down the running order just a little bit over the course of the long run. I think the low line tire preservation starting to prevail just a little bit. Argabright definitely not going to make it easy on any of them, though. It's been a fight for every one of these guys to try to make a pass on that 41. Out front, it's Bennett Allen by half a second. Rose is coming slowly but surely for that second spot. From that second spot, going after that first spot. Goodness. Dusty Martin currently riding a second and a half behind your leader in that 35. Definitely not out of the conversation. He'll be there immediately once those drivers get side by side. If Rose is able to run down the 15 before pit stops, I imagine these drivers should have to pit once more before we see the checkered flag this evening. Gap still hovers right around half a second between the 15 and the 78. Rose has pretty good pace, but their last lap nearly identical. Sorry, identical for all top three. 42.60 for all three of the front runners last time by. Shows you a little bit of difference on what these tires mean over the course of a long run. The best lap so far this race has held by Bennett Allen with a 40.55, so 2 full seconds of tire fall off so far. Oh, big contact with the turn 2 wall for Ryan Rose that time. Got a big piece of that outside wall. We'll see how that affects the drivability of that race car. It may bring him down pit lane prematurely. We'll see if he runs it out. Already seeing some drivers pit. We see the 97 of Nadeau. We see Argerbright, Bauman, all coming down pit lane. Wiggins and Miller follow as well. Looked like a pretty substantial impact for the 78 off of turn 2. But it really doesn't seem to have slowed him down much at all. Still running competitive lap times. We'll report in just a moment as they cross the stripe. We'll see what timing and scoring tells us about the pace of that car. Still right in there, 42.7 for Ryan Rose to a 42.6 for both Bennett Allen and Dusty Martin. Top 3 last came in lap 15. Steven Turner behind them last came in lap 16. So all these drivers have yet to make their second pit stop of the evening. Devin Gentry down pit lane now on lap number 59 for his final service of the night. Barring the potential of a caution, Rose does hit pit lane a little bit earlier than the other leaders. He's going to come down. That really doesn't look like that car is going to require much damage repair. Looks pretty spotless. A little bit of a scuff on that right rear quarter panel, but not much to speak of whatsoever. Looks pretty much cosmetic only. Out front, Bennett Allen still hanging out of this thing. Working the wheel as he heads down through turn 1. Really breathing on the throttle. He's going to come down pit road this time. Dusty Martin follows suit as well. That's going to be the whole field, save for Steven Turner, who's going to stay out another lap and try to lead this race and get that extra championship bonus point. And he will do just that. Here on lap number 57 as the rest of the field comes down for pit stops. See if the 26 dips down to pit lane this time. Pits cycling through. Everybody spreading out a little bit after that round of pit stops. It looks like closest battle on track after this point will likely be Argerbright and Bauman. Let's take a look at how the 15 and the 35 come out. Looks like 15 got in and out a little bit quicker. Unfortunately, Martin with a little bit of a longer pit stop. We saw a 16.5 second pit stop for Martin in the 35, or the rest of the field's averaging around a 14.5, so may have missed that pit stall, overshot the pit box just a little bit, cost him some time. Got a bit of ground to make up as he filters out behind Bauman, currently running 7th, Bauman 6th. Battle up here, Rose and Allen for the second spot. Steve Turner still on the racetrack out front. Side by side, this is a battle for what will be the lead after the 26 hits pit lane. Allen making short work of the 78, but we saw that 78 have a good long run speed. Looks like Steve Turner will come down to pit lane this time by. Which will turn over the lead to Bennett Allen as they cross the stripe next time. A little bit of a smoother entry there for the 78. I think that has proved to be beneficial over the long run. 15 has a bit more of an aggressive turn in by the looks of it, and might be wearing those tires out just a little bit more, as we've pretty consistently seen that 78 able to run down the 15 at some point in the run. It'll be 30 laps to go this time by here at Auto Club Speedway. Allen out front now, Rose in second. Alex Wiggins up to third after that round of pit stops. So great run through the pits by Wiggins. Wiggins nearly a second faster than most of the field for total pit lane time. And I'll tell you what that means in green flag positions, or green flag pit stops. That means he got down to pace speed as efficiently as possible. It means under braking, he was braking as hard as he could all the way to the line, and he timed it perfectly in order to get down to pace speed. If you slow down a little bit too early, and you might have, 50 feet left before the pit road commitment line, that's wasted time. That's a little extra time that you're going at a slower speed. So a lot of drivers lose out just slightly, but looks like Wiggins timed it absolutely perfectly and had a great outlap because he gained about a second and a half through that pit cycle. You see, he was able to leapfrog a lot of these guys, was trapped behind Bauman, behind Argerbright for a while before those pit stops, but he's able to clear now, and he's got some clean air on the nose at 11. He is setting sail towards second place, Ryan Rose. Rose has a 3-second lead over, advantage over Wiggins currently. Allen, of course, still in the lead. That gap, half a second. We'll see how that progresses. Both drivers a 40.82 for Allen, 40.87 for Rose last time by. Pretty similar pace out of both drivers, kind of trading lap times back and forth. Trending faster for Allen at present. We'll see if that tire life holds out for driver number 15 as we go throughout the night. As we've seen so far, we saw last run those drivers utilizing that outside lane had a little longer tire life than they saw in the first run, and that trend should continue as the ambient temperature and the track temperature continue to cool. Those tires will last longer and longer. So this may be a bit of a steeper hill to climb for the 78 to be able to run down the 15 this time, as tire degradation should be at an all-time low this run as temperatures cool off. Let's look back for that fourth spot. Wiggins has a mirror full of the 35 Dusty Martin. Martin is hauling the mail around that middle lane. Wiggins still sticking with the bottom. Looks like Martin's going to get to the outside off for turn 4. Has a good run down the front stretch. Staying well clear of the 11 and any potential side drafting issues. Midline once again. You see 35 rolls the center so well. A little more conservative entry there for the 11. The 35 is going to have the run off the corner this time. Can he get clear before turn 3? It looks like he's just going to. Wiggins slides in the groove behind the 35. 35 taking that high entry, then cutting down, taking the nose off the 11. Good defensive racing there by the 35 to get himself a bit of a gap and some breathing room from Wiggins. Take a look back here at Miller trying to run down his teammate Kyle Nadeau. Both these drivers still sitting back here in 9th and 10th. These are different race cars than we've used the last couple seasons, so maybe a little bit of a struggle adapting for a couple drivers that we usually see pretty well up the field here at Auto Club Speedway. A bit of a rare moment of weakness here for Great Lakes Racing. Has been pretty dominant. Almost all drivers have been in the top 5 consistently for the last few weeks. So definitely odd to see them out of sorts running here in the bottom end of the top 10. Back at Buckingham, he's trying to keep pace with Bauman here. A couple car lengths behind. Buckingham hoping for a caution right now. Currently a lap down. Would love to see a caution and get that lucky dog free pass. Like Buckingham maybe with some struggles on pit lane as well. A little bit longer pit lane time. Sitting around 54 seconds where the leaders were right around 50 seconds on pit lane. Definitely has the pace, though. If you get that lap back, here he is to the outside of Bauman, trying to make that pass happen. Up front, sorry, just a little bit ahead of them. 38 and 97 still going at it. Looks like Nadeau had a bit of a struggle there on the entry to turn 3. Nearly catches the wall off of 4. The 97 just looks like it's having some handling gremlins. Field definitely starting to get spread out. That includes for the lead. Bennett Allen now with a 1.5 second advantage over second place Ryan Rose. If you've been to either Auto Club Speedway or Michigan International Speedway, both sister tracks, the same length, same configuration. And if you've ever seen these cars go by at speed into turn 1, going the better part of 190 for these cars and 200 plus for the Cup Series cars, it is something to behold indeed. Just absolutely sailing these cars down into the corners, as you can tell as they whip by the camera at speed. Speaking of at speed, let's go ahead and crank it up and listen to some of the sights and sounds of these NASCAR Xfinity race cars as they're making their way around Auto Club Speedway. Look at the battle here. Augerbright and Wiggins starting to close in. And wow, look at Turner with a massive run through turns 1 and 2. Turner, of course, pitting a lot later than the rest of these drivers. Turner came through lap number 59. Everyone else right around lap 52 to 53. So a few laps fresher tires here for the 26. And you see it paying dividends already as he is storming through the field. Passes Augerbright without issue whatsoever. And now he's going to go to work on the 11 of Alex Wiggins. Through the corner and clear off of turn 2 for the 26. Move him back up to P4, and he is a absolute rocket ship with just 19 laps to go in tonight's race at Auto Club Speedway. It's been a fairly uneventful race for the second half here. Haven't had much of a chance to talk about our sponsors. One of those being Devin Main's Designs. Unfortunately, Devin not able to make it this week. Has some Army obligations and such going on, so unable to be on track with us in that number 5, but does have some representatives of the paint scheme work that he's done with Devin Main's Designs. He's sponsoring our team championship for this season, and did a great job in the Bass Pro Shops. Tracker boats number 39 here for Dalton Buckingham. So if you happen to be an iRacer and you're looking for a really sharp-looking design for your race car of any type here on iRacing Simulation, go ahead and hit up Devin Main's Designs. That's Devin Main's on Trading Paints. If you want to get in touch and mention code TNN for 20% off that livery commission. And some of that, the proceeds from that will go toward the league prize pool as well. So thanks, Devin, for coming on board this season. Out front, still Bennett Allen now by 1.8 seconds. Continues to stretch that gap. Those Goodyear Eagles are hanging on that number 15 this time. Ryan Rose still hanging out in second place. Dusty Martin, P3, kind of by himself at the moment, out front of Turner by about half a second, but that gap is closing fast, as we saw not too long ago. He's got fresh tires on this thing, and he's using them to their fullest. Look at the gap back to Wiggins. He just passed 2 laps ago. Has made up right around a second and a half, going on a second and a half to Dusty Martin, and continues to close now within 3 car lengths of the rear bumper of the 35. Now with a mirror full of Steve Turner. This is the battle for 3rd position here on track. Good run off of turn 4. Pretty good speed there for Martin off of turn 4. He's down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take away some of that advantage for the 26. Isn't quite pinned all the way to the bottom. Those old tires starting to show just a little bit. Massive run on the exit for the 26. He's going to get alongside. Martin slides back in the slot behind the 26. It'll be Steve Turner going through for that 3rd position. That delayed strategy paying off dividends so far as he sails by the 35 and now clears by 5 car lengths off of turn 2. He's got his sights on Rose, but it's a 5-second gap to make up to that 7 spot with just over 10 laps remaining. Gap to first from Rose to Allen, still holding at 1.8 seconds. It has not budged. Both drivers running pretty much identical lap times each and every lap. Fastest car on the racetrack last time by was, of course, Steve Turner. He's running about a 10th faster than these two per lap, and unfortunately that's not quite going to be enough to make the gap. It'll be enough to make about a second to 1.2 seconds up, but he's got 4.5 to make up if he wants to catch second place Ryan Rose before the end of this race. Right now, the battle between the top two, separated by 1.8 seconds, still holding tight at that margin. Closest battle on the racetrack right now between Doug Arkwright and Max Bauman. Bauman's starting to reel Arkwright back in just a little bit. Gap currently at half a second. Teammates Nadeau and Miller are still battling it out for for that 9th spot. These two have been around each other pretty much the entire day. Nadeau, of course, hot off a win last week. Probably was hoping for better results here at Auto Club. Unfortunately, that's not how the cards have fallen for these teammates this week. It's been a game of strategy and finesse all evening here at Auto Club Speedway as we close down to 9 laps to go for round number 6 of the Thursday Night Nitro Series. You got to be smooth. You got to be calm, cool, and collected and take care of that race car. And in the case of Steven Turner, you got to make some bold strategy calls to make things work out your way, and so far it has for driver number 26 as he's able to absolutely tear his way through the field in the late going of this race. This is not necessarily a battle of who's the fastest. Anybody can be fast for a few laps, but this has been a battle of the mind, battle of wits, battle of consistency for these drivers to be able to consistently repeat the same lap again and again and again, not overdrive the entry, not overdrive the exit, not get into that wall running the high lane. It's been a battle to be perfect, and so far the two drivers doing it the best are sitting well out front of the field. That's Ryan Rose and Bennett Allen. Gap starting to stretch now. I think Rose's tires starting to feel the heat just a little bit. Gap now 2.6 seconds. Substantial loss of pace in the last couple laps for the 78, giving up nearly another half second of time. That's going to allow Bennett Allen to continue to stretch that lead. 6 laps to go. Argerbright well clear of Bauman now. He's going for one more spot on Wiggins. About to cross down to 4 laps to go. Currently 5. Argerbright has turned up the wick in the closing laps. Has gained about a half second here on Wiggins. Can Wiggins hold on for 4 more laps? Excellent run off of turn 4 that time for Argerbright. Gains about 3 car lengths down the straight. They're going to be separated by 2 as they enter turn 1. Wiggins all the way on that high side. He knows that line the 41's been running all evening. That good defensive line. We saw how hard it was to pass the 41 using that out when he was on that outside lane earlier in the night. Now the 11 trying to break the draft. down the back straightaway. Once again to the high side for Wiggins. Argabright down low. Wiggins going to cut down low, try to take some of the air off of the nose on exit. Still advantage Wiggins as we come down to 3 to go. Wiggins down to the apron, potentially opening the door for the 41 who has a run. Slams that door back closed as they head down through turns 1 and 2. Now it's going to be Wiggins to the bottom. Argabright follows suit with a little bit of wide entry. That should give him the advantage down the backstretch. Good driving there by Wiggins. Slides up, takes the air off of the nose of the 41. He has to lift just a little bit on entry. Couldn't get to the throttle quite as well as he has the past couple laps. See the 41 rolling the center really well with that late entry. Can he get to the outside of Wiggins? Wiggins slams the door to the outside, goes defensive, back down low. A little bit of weaving back and forth for the 11. Trying to make that car as wide as possible. It's going to be Argabright to the inside through 1 and 2. Door to door, Argabright painting that white line. Wiggins all the way at the top. Wiggins should have the run down the back straight, but that was a good 1 and 2 for the 41. 2 to go here at Auto Club. Coming through 3 and 4, there will be one more lap to get it done. Can Argabright finish the pass? Side drafting is Wiggins off of turn 4, gets the advantage on that high side, using that fast line, keeping the RPMs wound up on his Chevrolet. White flag is in the air. This is the last lap. Once again, Wiggins to the outside. Argabright all the way down on that white line. Wiggins with the advantage off of 2. Wiggins going to clear for that spot. Argabright falls back in line. He's got one more chance to make it happen as Allen runs away with the race by nearly 3 seconds over Rose. Bennett Allen will win his 5th race of the season here at Auto Club Speedway. And it's going to be Alex Wiggins claiming the last spot in that top 5. Holding off Doug Argabright by the skin of his teeth at the end of this one. Ryan Rose brings the 78 home 2nd place. Steve Turner with a heroic comeback to 3rd. Dusty Martin in P4 with Alex Wiggins, as we just mentioned, rounding out the top 5. Max Bauman finishes P7 with Devin Gentry right behind in P12. Or P11. Goodness. P8 in the 12. Zach Miller bests Kyle Nadeau for the 9th spot. Nadeau rounds out the top 10. Dalton Buckingham, P11. And Jake Doffing with the early retirement will finish in 12th. Allen burning it down for the 5th time this season out of 6 total races. We had a brief respite last week with Nadeau winning, but back in winning form is driver number 15. Allen settles into victory lane. The rest of the top 3 will settle in to our green room as we get prepared to do post-race interviews. Stick around just a moment for that. Quick mention, looks like the 15, the 11, the 89, the 26, the 38, and the 39, all with 0x. 0 incidents this race, so all will receive 2 bonus points for keeping it clean at the conclusion of this race. So Allen potentially collecting absolute maximum bonus points throughout this race. All right, getting ready to bring in our interviewees. First of which will be the number 26 of Steve Martin. We'll go ahead and bring him in. Sorry, Steve Turner. Goodness. Pardon my discombobulation, folks. All right. Finishing P3 here at Auto Club Speedway, the 26, Steve Turner, with a pretty heroic comeback with a late pit strategy in this race. Used those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles to charge his way up through the field in pretty spectacular fashion. So how you feeling after that run?
A lot better. That first yellow came out and we all pitted, and I got caught speeding down pit road and kind of thought, track position's pretty important, and this might have hurt my whole race. So we got that long green run. I had a few extra laps of fuel, and we'll stay out and see if we can get something done. And it worked. It came back and got a 3rd place out of it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I kind of wondered how that strategy was going to play out long term, but thought maybe the tires would equalize. We saw that at Iowa last week and weren't quite sure how things were going to settle out this race, but that thing kept the pace pretty good. And I don't know if maybe the difference in the nighttime, just hanging on to the tire life a little bit longer. It looks like the guys who were running the top, who had been falling off in the early going, were able to hang on to that lane a little bit longer before the tires fell off. As we got later into the evening, and I think that might have played a bit of a role, but that was some good strategizing to get back into that by yourself. But you mentioned overcoming that early problems, but yeah, pretty solid finishing P3. Did you think it was pretty much over at that point? Did you think the car had the speed initially, or was it a bit of a guessing game as to that strategy?
I'm not really sure. That first run, I was just kind of riding. I was taking it really easy. And Bennett, he's a rocket man. He's pulling away. So I knew I was racing for second at that point. And when I came out of that pits after that last green flag stop, I just put the pedal to the floor, and I wasn't lifting until I saw God of the checkered flag, and we got the checkered flag.
That you did. But yeah, it did absolutely everything. Aside from the one mistake, everything else was pretty much perfect on the strategizing, and being able to think on your feet and come back for that 3rd place was solid and really fun to watch. Watch some good passing, some an abundance of passing. It's been a whole night of everyone getting stuck behind each other. I know everyone was stuck behind Doug for quite a while there, and I think it was the second run of the race. Just that high line was so hard to make a move down to the inside and make it stick because they got such a run on that outside. But being able to see you put that thing wherever you wanted to and just sail on by everybody was pretty entertaining. So, yeah, it broke up the last bit of a race, those green flag runs, being able to see somebody charging up through the field. And I kind of wondered, how far is he going to get? How much time before the end does he have, to try to make up that ground? But could have maybe had another one, but man, Ryan was playing it pretty good. He started to fall off pretty hard at the end there, but just ran out of time. Would have been interesting to see just how far you could get with an extra 10 laps or so.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could have got to Ryan. Like you said, he was definitely struggling. I watched him go high, and then low, and it's like he was trying to find grip that he couldn't get. But no, he ran a really good race as well. But yeah, it was really fun racing with Doug and all them guys, and we were bunched up. I think we were side by side for like 20 laps. It was crazy. I was waiting for one of us to hit the wall and take everybody out, but we all kept it clean. So thanks to everybody in the field for doing that. Big shout out to my teammate Benin, getting his 5th win now. It's killing it out here. So good day for the turnaround turbos. Thanks for putting the broadcast up again, Adam. You guys always do a great job.
Great day indeed. Well, you gained 3 spots in the point standings last week. Got you tied for 10th with Kyle pre-race, but this will definitely leapfrog, I believe, him. Brewington was out of this race. I think Gentry finished a few further back, so you should gain a few more off this because this is a pretty tight battle for that top 6 cutoff. You are currently sitting, let's see, 10, 12, about 30... about 40 points behind 6th place, and I think you'll cut into that pretty well. Because I think Max Bauman struggled a little bit, fell back in the late going. Zach was back around 9th, I believe, so you gained quite a few spots there. We said Devin was back there as well, so you should be able to leapfrog a couple more, but how are we liking our odds going into next week?
Well, I'm not a big fan of Homestead, especially in the afternoon. That track's real slick. You know, it was a little tight here tonight, so maybe a slicker track will be a little more fun. But as long as it's not like 120-degree track temp, I think we'll be all right. Maybe we can break this streak of finishing 3rd and finally get a 1-2 finish for the team, or maybe we get a win. But I don't see us beating Bennett. Like I said, it's a race for 2nd every week, but I'm here for it.
Well, at least he's your teammate, so you don't have to feel quite as bad about it because he's,
yeah, exactly,
keeping you afloat in the team championship, which hopefully we'll get some results for soon. We'll be working on that the next few days to get that up and going for everybody. But hey, I like the optimism going to Homestead. I've seen you race there. Well, raced with you there in the preseason a couple times, and you definitely have some pace there too. So I would expect good things for the whole Turned Around Turbos team next week. It's just a matter of who finishes on top.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get a 1-2 finish or maybe a win. But I got to stop making mistakes in qualifying. That's it's hurt me the last couple weeks. We qualified dead last week at Iowa, and then 7th or 8th here tonight. Just getting a little loose, giving a little too much gas. So I think if we can start closer to the front, it's a lot better odds. Started 2nd at USA, finished 3rd. Sorry, qualifying is definitely big.
Especially at tracks like this, and you start getting to the bigger tracks like this or Homestead, maybe not quite as important at a shorter track like Iowa, but yeah, once you start opening it up on the big tracks, that track position just gets that much more valuable, as you said. But great race, congrats on the top 3 and 1-3 finish for the team, and we'll hopefully see you back in the same form next week at Homestead.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, Adam.
All right, no problem. That is your 3rd place finisher, Stephen Turner, in the number 26. All right, moving on to our 2nd place runner-up finish for this evening. Ryan Rose in the number 78, driver number 78. How we doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm all right. I'm doing good.
Good to hear. Well, you looked good out there. Had that thing looking pretty in, unfortunately 2nd spot, but you definitely had the pace to run him down a couple times. That last run, we knew it was going to be tough. On the broadcast, the tires between that were just lasting a little bit longer. We saw him fade, saw Bennett fade a couple times on the earlier couple runs, but I think as the evening got cooler, the tires kind of hung on a little bit longer and was starting to play into the hands of the guys who were, really pitching it in and driving, a little more aggressive than finesse. But I mean, there's a good amount of guys in here who are excellent at both, but. Saw you guys trading lap times pretty much the whole night, so you had that thing looking good out there. Take us through your evening. Is there anything you would have changed throughout the night? Maybe a different strategy call, or take it.
I think ideally I would have ran longer than trying to get some tires at the end, but yeah, I couldn't save really that well, especially in that 2nd run. I couldn't get anything. The 1st run was a lot better, but. It is what it is. But yeah, I just couldn't save my life.
Yeah, it does happen. But overall, I mean, you still had, for supposedly not, according to you, not saving tire, you still had plenty of pace out there. Just looked like that last. Was there anything different about that last run to you? Because it seemed like you had better pace on the long run, the first 2 runs, and then just saw a little bit more of a fall off that last run.
Yeah, I think I just started pushing more and trying to get to him, and that's what ultimately brought me down. But I don't know if I would have gotten to him anyway because I was losing so much time trying to save, and it was just losing a lot more. He was definitely a lot better saving tire at the very end of the race than I was. But yeah, it was still a lot of fun. Still fun to race this track. This track is really, really fun. Like this place.
And it shows. Glad you had fun. We had fun watching you, everyone out there. And how you feeling about Homestead next week? Plan on being with us for Homestead?
Yeah, I love Homestead. I don't know how good I'm gonna be, but I hope to be like top 3 again. But hopefully I can win and be out there. That's like my best track, seems.
Well, I like the confidence, and I'm sure viewers out there who might have a little bit of Bennett Allen fatigue wouldn't mind seeing somebody else in victory lane. But I like the
Tried to
confidence.
make that happen tonight, but
yeah, absolutely. We were hopeful for a while. We saw that gap hanging around. It would grow, it would shrink a little bit, you know, hanging right around like a second for the longest time there. We're like, man, it could still be anybody's race. You know, one little mistake would change the whole thing. But, you know, it plays out the way it plays out. Bennett's, you know, great talent, and obviously, otherwise he wouldn't have won 5 races this season already. But I know, at least in my eyes, being able to hang with somebody that good in itself is a bit of a win.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's good to come in here and not really caring too much about the season necessarily. No offense, but like um to come in here and still run pretty good uh is definitely very good on the mind.
Oh, for sure. It's always a bit therapeutic to be able to just come in and play spoiler. You know, nothing, no championship implications to worry about. Just go in, get it done. You know, do what you got to do, and hopefully come home with the win. So we'll see if that pans out next week. You're one spot to go, which, hey, you know, anything can happen, especially at Homestead where everyone's ripping the fence for part of the race, and you know, people make mistakes. You never know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, is there anyone you'd like to shout out this evening, or any friends or family you'd like to say hello to on the broadcast?
Oh, just my mom and dad, Brett's Electric, they're on this car. They help me out a lot in real life, and yeah, that's about it.
All right, you heard it here. That is our second place finisher, Ryan Rose. Thanks for taking the time, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll get our winner here in just a moment. Okay. Let's see. Where's driver number 15 at? There he is. Bennett Allen, winner for the 5th time in 6 races. In a Thursday night Nitro series, he's going to make everyone tired of him by the end of the season, pulling this Jimmy Johnson crap, you know, winning every race. Everyone just, you know, there's the 15 again. But how you feeling after win number 5?
Bennett Allen fatigue? Really? Is that is that the phrase we're using now? It was a great race overall. I really do miss this racetrack in real life. I am very fortunate to be able to go to it when I was like, I think I was 12 or 13 in 2018. So I'm glad I got to see it in person before it got brutally murdered by corporations in California. But it wasn't the race I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like midday, and so I thought it was like, okay, great, it's gonna be hot. It's like right in my bread and butter, and it was the exact opposite. And I hate being tight. I hate battling a tight race car, and that's what I was dealing with all night. Um, but after that first or one and only yellow, I kind of just kept a lead, and that was probably by far the smoothest green flag pit stop I've ever done in the 5 years of me doing iRacing. So um, it worked out. We won for the 5th time this year, and I got to keep on going until we get to the playoffs. Things kind of flip on their head at that point.
Well, absolutely. Everything gets reset, but you're going to have yourself a fair bit of breathing room there, expecting the top seed because you are a healthy stack of points ahead of second place in the championship standings as it sits right now. So definitely going to collect those top seed bonus points And yeah, I think you'll be sitting pretty. How you feeling about Homestead next week?
I love Homestead. It's like top 5 best tracks in iRacing. It's nice and multi-groove, and you know, I can really just choose where I want to run. From memory, from since the last like update, I think I'm gonna be running the bottom a lot, just to save tire, because you start running the fence, too early, and then your right rear is gonna be screaming. Even though that's not the way it is in real life, but it's the way it is in the game. So, love Homestead, and I'm excited to see if I can get number 6, and then maybe I can get number 7 the next week. Because 6, 7, kill me.
If they didn't have Bennett fatigue before, they do now. In all seriousness, no, though, fantastic drive. Kind of wondered if maybe we wouldn't see you stumble in the last run, but the cooler temperatures once the sun went down seemed to play into your hand pretty well. I feel like you're a little bit more of an aggressive driver than some of the other guys here. We kind of saw the tires fall off a little bit in the early first run, especially the second run to a lesser extent. It looked like the further we went into the night, the more those tires held on and allowed you to keep pushing the pace later in.
Yeah, that first run was kind of a really good um, idea of what was going to happen in that second run. I knew the sun was going to continue to go down, the track was continuing to cool off, and I definitely push it too hard at this racetrack. I was telling Ryan before we got pulled up into the booth that I really couldn't find the happy medium of backing up the corner without losing too much speed. That's kind of like that fine line that the pros run at every track, and most tracks I can find, I can find it after enough practice, but I figured after 45 laps of running, I'd be like, okay, I have an idea, and I just couldn't find it. So I just kept running my line and driving in it as deep as I could for some reason. 3 and 4, it was really easy. I could get in the corner really deep and just coast the center, and it would stick. But 1 and 2, man, that corner is weird, because if you back up the corner, you're not going to carry enough speed on exit because you're going to hit the wall. But then if you dive it in too deep, you're still not going to carry enough momentum on exit, because then now your engine's bogged down. And I was kind of teeter-tottering on that for the last 40 laps of that run, or however many laps it was. But Ryan did a good job of putting on the pressure. I'd definitely keep my eye on the interval until he started trying some things. And I'm just happy to win again. It's fun to me. I don't win a lot, but I'm 2 for 2 on my league races this week. I won my way in the championship 4 in another league I run on Mondays, and I win number 5 in this one. So things are looking up, I guess.
Well, I don't think you can really say you don't win a lot anymore at this point then.
I mean, like official racing, I struggle because I get in the strength of field races almost every time I'd sign up for a race, and it's really hard. I surprised myself last night and won NIS. I was like, that never happens, but it was also super speedway, so that was my best shot. So, I guess all the work on my days off is finally paying off, and I guess the more laps I run in iRacing, the better I'm going to get, just like anything. So we're going to continue to carry the momentum week by week and hopefully get me a title at the end of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. The more seat time, the better you do. There's a reason some of the best drivers in NASCAR try to, be in any race car as much as possible, regardless of what it is. But definitely seems to be paying off for you.
The Coke guys need to touch grass. That's all I'm going to
say. Yeah, that's definitely true in some of their cases. Well, probably most. I can't imagine the amount of effort and just grind it takes to stay at that level consistently. But yeah, great night for you. Hey, if you can't beat the Coke guys, you can at least beat up on us here. So win number 5, extending that championship points lead even more, is Bennett Allen, the number 15. If the Lions make it through the season and into the postseason, I might credit you, because there's got to be some correlation here.
I'm running Detroit Lions paint schemes across the board now. I have a similar paint scheme to this I run in Cup, and then I run this paint scheme a lot in Xfinity, but I made a like I don't know if y'all knew, but like a bunch of NASCAR wide receivers got sponsored by like I think Kellogg's or some cereal brand, and so I have the Monroe St. Brown Cheerios truck for Truck Series. So everything's Lions themed. We're going as deep as we can, and I don't want to talk about the refs. You know, we had what it was 15 versus 11 last week, so that's still that's an asterisk next to that game in my opinion. 0 penalties, by the way, by the other team.
Maybe a little bit, but you know, we'll keep it on topic. You know, avoid getting too salty over it. But
That's true. That's true.
great race, and we'll hope to see you with continued success at Homestead next week. I know I think Ryan's gunning for you at this point. We definitely had Steve say he's gunning for you as well. He's like, well, I want to make it 1-2 next week. We won't say who's going to be 1, who's going to be 2. So I think both of you have pretty good speed at Homestead, so it should be an interesting week. I think Homestead just seems to be a favorite track for pretty much everyone in the league, so we end up usually having some pretty good races there. But thanks for the time. If there's anyone else you'd like to shout out, sponsors, friends, family, before we wrap it up.
Yeah, you know, huge thanks to you, Adam, and everyone at BoomTube. Just every week, I just love having a broadcast. It just heightens the realism just a little bit more. The league I run on Mondays doesn't have broadcasting, so this is it's nice to have, and it gives me a unique perspective to rewatch after the race is over. So huge thanks to you guys, and huge thanks to DMD and Devmains Designs and Déjà Revél for sponsoring our league. It's nice to have partners in this, and huge thanks to everyone at Outlier Speed Company. If you guys want really fast setups every week, go to outlierspeedcompany.com and get yourself some fast setups. I'm a house driver there, so if you join our Discord, feel free to hit me up, and I can help you out. And you know, got the Dan Campbell's kneecap soup, so you know, every week watch the Lions on Sundays to get yourself some.
For sure. Well, it's been Bennett Allen, winner here at Auto Club for round number 6. Just 3 races remain before the championship cutoff. Stay tuned here on BoomTube every Thursday night at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's been a rough night, Bennett, I'll tell you what. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll have to find out next week which one of the teammates comes out on top, or maybe we have a surprise spoiler next week, but you have to tune in right back here on the BoomTube to find out. Thanks for your time, Bennett. We'll see you again next week at Homestead.
See you next week.
All right, that's going to about wrap it up for us this evening. Of course, as he mentioned before, thank you so much to our sponsors along for the ride this season, Déjà Revél, Boudoir Photography, with Kara over there, extremely talented photographer and artist. To check out the brand new redesigned website, DéjaRevél.com, if you're interested in those services. You're anywhere on the eastern seaboard, within reasonable distance. You or your spouse happens to be interested in getting some awesome keepsake photos, that is the place to go. Award-winning photography studio, voted best in Pennsylvania, based out of York, so go ahead and check that out if you are interested in her services. Of course, thank you to Devmains Designs, as we mentioned earlier. Mention code TNN for 20% off, and for some of those proceeds to be added to the prize pool for these drivers this season. And as well as Sugar Maple Designs, that is the company of Devin Gentry, who's providing several signed diecast cars for the drivers throughout the season and to the championship front runners at the end of it. So thank you to Devin for coming on board with Sugar Maple Designs and providing those for us. And of course, thanks to our staff here for Thursday Night Nitro Series for putting on this league, keeping up to date on things, and putting on some good racing for everyone each and every week that we can broadcast here on the BoomTube. And as always, if you haven't liked and or subscribed, go ahead and click that like button at the bottom of the video, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to know the next time we go live and be notified whenever we go live here on the Boom Tube for the Thursday Night Nitro series. And that also helps promote us in YouTube's algorithm, gets our broadcasts out in front of more eyeballs, so we really appreciate whenever you do that. Until next time, at Homestead Speedway for round number 7 next week, I've been Adam LeVox here for the Boom Tube, and we'll continue this next week. Everyone have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.